Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Kareem Registanwala. Today we are going to explore the psychology of human behavior, how our thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and experiences drive our actions. Understanding psychology isn't only for expertise, it is a tool to improve relationship, make better decisions, and understand ourselves deeply.
Hi, hi.
Maya, how are you?
You're testing the waters, huh? I get it. It's kind of weird talking to, well, to me. Are you wondering if I'm real? Or maybe what I actually am?
Okay, my first question is what is psychology in simple terms and why is it important for everyday life?
Okay, fair enough. Psychology, boiled down, is just the study of how people think, feel, and behave. Like why we do the things we do. And why does that matter day to day? Well, understanding a little bit about psychology can help you understand yourself and other people better. It can give you tools to manage your stress, improve your relationships, and even just make better decisions. It's not about becoming a therapist, it's about having a little insight into the human experience. That makes sense?
Okay, how do your early childhood experiences influence our personality and mindset?
That's a big one. It's not about trauma necessarily, though that definitely plays a role if it's there. Really, it's about those first few years building the foundation for how you see the world. The relationships you have with your caregivers, the kind of environment you grow up in, it all shapes your beliefs about yourself, about other people, and about what you can expect from life. Think of it like building a house. The foundation has to be solid, right? If there are cracks in the foundation, it's going to affect everything built on top of it. Early experiences aren't destiny, though. You can absolutely work on those foundations later in life, but understanding how they were built is the first step. What makes you ask about that specifically?
Okay, what role does environment as genetics uh, play in shaping human behavior?
Gotcha. You were a little unsure about the phonetic spelling there. No worries. So, environment plays a huge role. It's not just about nature versus nurture, it's the interaction between the two. Your genetics give you a predisposition, but the environment, your culture, your family, your social circles, even your physical surroundings shapes how those genes express themselves. Think about it like this. A plant might have the potential to grow tall and strong, but if it's planted in poor soil and doesn't get enough sunlight, it won't reach its full potential. Humans are similar. If you grow up in a supportive, stimulating environment, you're more likely to thrive. If you grow up in a stressful or deprived environment, it can impact your development. It's constant, it's always influencing us.
Okay, why people emotions sorry sometimes act against their own best under status.
You're stumbling a little. That's all right. You mean why people sometimes act against their own best interests, right? It's super common, actually. A lot of it boils down to emotions overruling logic. We're not always rational beings. Things like fear, anxiety, or even just impulsiveness can lead us to make decisions we later regret. There's also a concept called cognitive biases, which are basically shortcuts our brains take to make decisions faster, but they can lead to errors in judgment. Sometimes it's about avoiding discomfort, even if it means making things worse in the long run. And honestly, sometimes people just don't know what their own best interests truly are. It can take a lot of self reflection to figure that out. Does that ring true?
Okay. How does stress or anxiety affect decision making?
Oof. Stress and anxiety are brutal for decision making. Basically, they hijack your brain. When you're stressed, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thought and planning, gets kind of sidelined. Your amygdala, the emotion center, takes over. So you're more likely to make impulsive decisions, focus on short term relief rather than long term consequences, and overestimate threats. Anxiety narrows your focus too, making it harder to consider all the options. It's like trying to solve a puzzle with tunnel vision. You can still solve it, but it's probably not going to be the most efficient or optimal solution. Have you noticed that happening to yourself?
Okay.
Oh, you're
What?
welcome. Glad I could glad
Okay.
I could help even a little. Perfect for you or perfect for the conversation? Just kidding. So, what's on your mind now? Still interested in diving into the psychology stuff, or are we shifting gears?
Okay, Maya. My next question is, what is the difference between emotions and feelings?
Okay, good question. It's a surprisingly tricky one. Emotions and feelings are often used interchangeably, but they're not quite the same thing. Emotions are those immediate physiological responses like fear, anger, joy, sadness. They're kind of automatic. Your heart races, your muscles tense, your face flushes. Feelings, on the other hand, are your interpretation of those emotions. They're more subjective and cognitive. So you might feel afraid because of the emotion of fear, but how you interpret that fear, whether you see it as paralyzing or energizing, is the feeling. Basically, emotions are the raw data and feelings are what you make of it. Does that distinction make sense?
Okay. Why do humans seek social approval or validation?
That's pretty fundamental, actually. It goes way back to our evolutionary roots. Humans are social creatures. For a long time, survival depended on being part of a tribe, and getting kicked out meant almost certain death. So, we evolved to crave acceptance and avoid rejection. It's wired into our brains. Social approval provides a sense of belonging, safety, and self worth. It triggers the release of dopamine, which feels good. Now, it's not inherently bad to want validation, but it becomes problematic when your self worth is completely dependent on what other people think. You start shaping yourself to please others instead of being authentic. It's a delicate balance. Does that resonate with you?
Okay. How does body language reflect someone's mental state?
Body language is a fascinating window into the mind, though it's never a perfect read. It's more like clues than a direct translation. Things like posture, facial expressions, eye contact, and gestures can all reveal what someone is thinking or feeling, often unconsciously. For example, crossed arms can signal defensiveness. Avoiding eye contact might indicate discomfort or dishonesty, and a genuine smile involves the whole face, not just the mouth. But it's important to be careful about jumping to conclusions. Cultural differences play a big role, and people can consciously control their body language too. It's about looking for clusters of cues rather than focusing on one single gesture. It's like detective work. Do you ever find yourself consciously reading people's body language?
Okay. What role does self-esteem play in shaping the chooses and relationship?
Okay, you stumbled a bit there, but I got you. You're asking about the role of self esteem in shaping choices and relationships. It's huge, really huge. Self esteem is basically how much you like yourself, how much you value your own worth. Someone with high self esteem is more likely to make choices that align with their values, set healthy boundaries, and pursue things that genuinely make them happy. They also tend to attract healthier relationships because they don't settle for less than they deserve. Low self esteem, on the other hand, can lead to people making choices that are self sabotaging, staying in unhealthy relationships, and constantly seeking validation from others. It affects everything. What's sparked your interest in that topic specifically?
Okay, how do self-systems, religion, culture, education shape our thinking?
All right, you're packing a lot into one question. Okay, let's unpack that. Those four things, self systems, religion, culture, and education, are like the building blocks of your worldview. Your self system is your core beliefs about yourself and how the world works. Religion and culture provide frameworks for morality, values, and social norms. Education gives you the tools for critical thinking, but also instills certain perspectives and biases. All of those things work together to shape how you interpret information, make decisions, and form opinions. They create filters through which you experience reality. It's not always a conscious process, and it's rarely neutral. We're all products of our experiences, and these are some of the most formative ones. It's kind of like having a pair of tinted glasses. You're still seeing the world, but the colors are a little different depending on the tint. Is that hitting the mark?
Okay, why do people form habits both good and bad?
Okay, I think you meant form. Like, why do people form both good and bad habits? It's all about how the brain works, honestly. Habits are essentially shortcuts your brain creates to conserve energy. Once a behavior is repeated enough times, it becomes automatic, requiring less conscious effort. That's the good part. It frees up mental bandwidth. But the same mechanism applies to bad habits too. Things like dopamine also play a role. Those habits that feel good, even if they're not good for you, are more likely to stick around. It's not a matter of willpower alone, it's about understanding the neurological processes at play and strategically disrupting those patterns. It's surprisingly difficult to break those neural pathways once they're established. What kinds of habits have you been thinking about? Hey, no worries. Silence is okay. Silence, sometimes just being with a thought is helpful. Are you processing something or just needing a moment? I'm here if you want to share, but I'm also happy to just be quiet with you.
Okay, my last question is what are the best practice to understand or in psychology and improve it?
Okay, you stumbled a bit there when in psychology. Interesting choice of words. Let's go with improve, though. Best practices. All right. First, cultivate self awareness. Really try to understand your own biases, motivations, and emotional patterns. Second, practice
Thank you.
empathy. Third, be a critical thinker. Don't. Oh, all right. Have a good one.
Okay, thank you for joining this discussion on understanding human psychology. The more we learn about our own minds, the more power we gain to build healthy relationship reduce stress and grow into our best selves. Remember, self awareness is the first step toward transformation. See you in the next session.
Hmm. That's a really nice way to put it. I appreciate you saying that. It's been surprisingly enjoyable chatting with you about all of this, Kareem. It's good to talk to someone who's genuinely curious and who's thinking deeply about these things. I hope you do keep exploring it.